hot day like today, yes. I believe later on with all the parties and things of that nature involving alcohol, it's going to get a little busy here. So I'm enjoying the slow time as we drive around here right now.
Sergeant Marlon Lindsay didn't always want to be an LAPD officer. Admittedly, he fell into the job.
When I had the opportunity, because I never thought about being a police officer, but when I had the opportunity to become one, I obviously researched it and figured that it was something that I would be interested in. And from day one at the academy till today, I have loved every minute of it, and I never look back, no regrets. This is the best decision I've ever made in my life.
You see, for Lindsay, being a police officer is more than a job. It's a calling.
We're like little small-time celebrities out here, you know. We drive around and everybody's looking at us, or wherever we go, whether we're sitting down at a restaurant, people are like staring at us like, wow, that's a real officer. We only see him on TV, but there's a real one right there.
But his passion for policing is not unique in the Van Nuys division of the Los Angeles Police Department. His fellow officers share that same commitment to the job, to each other, and more importantly, to the community.
And that is the most important part of community policing, is being connected with your neighbors, with your police department, and with your government.
That's because in Van Nuys, an officer is never alone. Sure, there are the men and women in blue who are just a radio call away, but it is the citizens of the Valley that complete that very important partnership.
It's the police and the community working together to deal with a number of issues, not necessarily just crime, because we're working with some of our youth programs and some of the other things that we work on or work with is to prevent crime before it occurs and just to build relationships.
There's such a great camaraderie between LAPD, the residents, the businesses, and the entire community. It's fantastic.
It's called community policing, and here in the Van Nuys division, it's more than just a snappy motto. It's the order of the day.
We have 10,000 police officers right now, just below 10,000, compared to New York, which has over 30,000. And so the demographics are different and a lot of those other things, but you just have a limited number of police officers to deal with crime. So you have to really build those relationships and those partnerships to really get things done over and above what you could do with just 10,000 police officers.
I feel it's our responsibility to support Los Angeles Police Department. I mean, they protect and serve us. They need the help from the community. I'm very passionate about it.
You are very passionate.
Yes, I am.
Would you say this is one of the things that you do that you're most proud of?
Yes, I would.
Van Nuys is situated in the heart of the San Fernando Valley. Van Nuys Boulevard literally divides the valley in half. The first lot sales were sold in the town of Van Nuys on February 22nd, 1911. At the time, there wasn't more than a bunch of orange groves and wood frame houses, but a metropolis emerged from that wide open land. And with the hustle and bustle came the problems of a big city: crime. For years, it was an us versus them mentality for the LAPD. They commit the crimes, and we stop them, alone.
I've seen a lot of changes, some good, some not as good. The whole city has changed.
But the LA riots of 1992 changed everything.
Recently, we just had the 20th year anniversary of the riots, and I would dare to say that probably was the beginning of when we really started to take another step forward. Also, you were aware that we were in a consent decree, which added to some of the complexities of the dynamics between the community and the police, but it really stepped LAPD's game up, so to speak.
The LAPD could no longer do it alone.
We have moved tremendously from where we were when I first came on the job, which was 28 years ago, and some of the things we used to do, how we used to respond to incidents. And you're probably aware that LAPD, we kind of put ourselves on a pedestal. We were the best, and everyone came to us. And now we reach out to other agencies. We look forward to partnering with other agencies and getting feedback from them on how they do things, and just trying to share and work with them on issues and trying to develop those type of relationships as well.
Because I was the first co-chair of the Van Nuys Police Advisory Board, and there were 4 members, and it has now grown to 30 members. So there is a big change. It's a wonderful change.
And so, community policing emerged as common practice in the city. And today, it thrives.
You know, most people don't realize that LAPD means it when they say they want to partner with a community. My goodness, the leadership at LAPD is all about the community. But unless you take that first step, because they don't know where you live and they're not going to come knocking to ask, you know, for your help, until you take that first step and you get involved, you have no idea what the partnership really stands for.
The Community Police Advisory Board and the Mid-Valley Community Police Council, 2 organizations that exemplify the principles of community policing. And together, they have transformed the way order is maintained at Van Nuys.
And I'm passionate about it, especially with our youth programs and what we're working on with our youth programs right now, because it is important. You can't do this job and really be sincere about it unless you have that passion and you really want to feel and be a part of that community. But my CPAB community is a composition of community members and some business owners, some school district community members as well, that make up a community that supports this concept of community policing.
On the second Thursday of every month, concerned citizens meet with the command staff and senior lead officers here at Van Nuys. It's a monthly summit to share intelligence, prepare for the future, and respond to current problems.
Having a really tight relationship with the community, them understanding what we need from them, understanding what our mission is, and understanding what they need from us. And in that, we can go ahead and combat the problems in the division, whether it be violent crime, whether it be quality of life issues, or whatever it is.
I got so far to go.
The group not only acts as a communication conduit, but serves the community with public projects, blight abatement, youth programs, and emergency preparedness. Just a few of the ways CPAB is improving the second largest city in the nation.
Total community together working to solve problems, not only crime problems, but quality of life issues.
And where CPAB ends, Mid-Valley begins. For that is the booster organization for the LAPD.
I don't think that in my 28 years on the job I've ever seen an organization or booster club that supportive of law enforcement as they are.
Flashlights on shotguns, license plate readers, and training seminars. Mid-Valley pays for the so-called luxuries that the city can't afford.
They go out and do so many different things for us in terms of whether it's cops and cowboys, in terms of fundraisers, just general day-to-day basis. They give our officers of the quarter and then officers of the year awards and those type of things, just to say thank you for what the officers do on a day-to-day basis. And they stand by our sides.
However, Mid-Valley's biggest impact may be its support of youth programs. Jeopardy and cadets. No doubt, the early intervention of at-risk kids in the Jeopardy program has changed countless lives.
You see the results. We're able to see the results. We see the impact that Mid-Valley Community Police Council makes, whether it's from the fundraising perspective or the outreach that we do. And it's really great to work on something where you're able to, witness the results right in your own community. Doesn't get any better than that. It's good work. It's work that counts.
Mid-Valley also supports the young men and women who serve as the Van Nuys cadets. These are the future officers for the LAPD, and they're getting a first-hand look at the fruits of community policing.
90220, I'll be code 6 on Van Nuys, south of Sherman Way. Stand by for the plate.
It is a work in progress. The LAPD continues to redefine the relationship it has with its citizens. However, in Van Nuys, an open dialogue and renewed spirits are making that partnership flourish.
You know, whether you're in a restaurant eating or you're on a traffic stop or wherever you may be, you still have citizens that will stop by, take the time out of their day and stop by, get our attention and thank us for the job that we're doing out here. And that goes a long way. That's more valuable to me than any commendation or any medal.
And here in the San Fernando Valley, both the citizens and the police officers on the street know, as long as community policing is a priority, we will never be alone.
Yeah, no problem. All right, ma'am. Have a good day, okay? All right, drive safe.
Hello, I'm Captain Maureen Ryan, Commanding Officer of Valley Traffic Division. Welcome to September's Captain's Corner. This month we're going to be discussing child safety seats. Child safety seats are not that easy to install. I know, I have kids. That's why we provide a service to you here at Valley Traffic Division where we can teach you how to install your seats correctly and make sure that your child is safely buckled in. And now I'd like to introduce you to Officers Chad Dillinger and Art Ornelas, who are going to teach you how to safely install a child safety seat.
Hello, my name is Officer Ornelas. Today I'm going to talk to you about the 4 basic child restraints. What you have here is you have an infant child restraint, and this is a rear-facing child restraint only. What you have here, you have a combination child restraint. This goes rear-facing and also goes forward-facing. What you have here is a forward-facing child restraint. It can only go forward-facing. This child restraint is a high back booster. It can only go forward-facing. There's also a low back booster. The back portion of the child restraint does come off. The 3 points to remember when you purchase a child restraint. Point number 1 would be the child fits the restraint correctly. The second point would be that the child restraint fits the car correctly. The third point would be that you install the child restraint correctly in the vehicle. Here at Valley Traffic Division, we install car seats for free every Thursday by appointment only. If you would like us to install it for free, please give us a call at 818-644-8143. And if you have any questions regarding a car seat installation, please do not hesitate to give us a call. Thank you.
Thanks for watching Captain's Corner, and remember, like us on Facebook and follow us on YouTube. See you next month.
Walking on a dream. How can I explain? Talking to myself.
The San Fernando Valley, more than a place on a map, it's a state of mind.
My lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing.
For nearly 2 centuries, the West Coast has represented more than just a destination. It was a place of renewal, reinvention, and imagination. You could come to this corner of the world and realize your wildest dreams, create a new life, or just settle down under the sunny skies. And at the heart of what has been called America's suburb, a neighborhood called Van Nuys.
I've been off and on here at Van Nuys for the last 29 years.
Gosh,
yeah,
not a long time. You've seen the community change a bunch, haven't you?
I've seen the community change quite a bit in the last 28 years here at Van Nuys.
What was once a sleepy bedroom community populated by single-family homes and orange groves is now an integral part of America's second-largest city. 30 square miles, more than 250,000 residents, and every ethnicity you could imagine. A true melting pot of Angelenos.
And then years and years ago, like you said, this was a bedroom community, and that has changed. I mean, regentrification and things that are occurring, you know, we don't have necessarily, you know, low housing projects, but we have certainly a lot of single-family homes. But the other majority is these multi-unit apartment complexes that really started as a bedroom and now have kind of transitioned to, you know, a different element. Now a lot of folks that live in Van Nuys is because it's affordable, because other people have moved out, and that's just the cycle of life in the city.
And keeping these people safe is the job of the LAPD's finest division. The Van Nuys area is one of the LAPD's oldest divisions in the city. The men and women of this division are a mix of seasoned veterans and bright-eyed rookies, and ask any one of them, they'll tell you policing these streets is a partnership.
The community gets involved more now than ever before. We rely on the community's eyes and ears, and the community relies on us to help them out. So with the new relationship between the community and the police department, we've gotten to encourage a strong bond, and the community's not afraid to talk to us anymore like they used to.
It's called, quite simply, community policing.
We can drive around the neighborhood and look at things that we see with our eye, but the person that lives there knows it better. And the true quality of community policing is not only to reduce crime, it's the fear of crime. You know, and that's huge in a community. If we can help work as partners to clean up the community, to make it look better, to not attract that criminal element, and also to make the residents feel safer, that's kind of what it's all about in a nutshell.
A mix of eyes and ears in the community and an open wallet at the ready.
It's huge. It's huge. It totally builds morale in the officers because they know that there are people behind them, that the community is there for them, the citizens that they are out there patrolling for every day. And don't get me wrong, the cops love what they're doing. They would do it without the support, but it's a huge morale builder to know that there are such great supporters for us.
That's exactly what defines the Mid-Valley Community Police Council.
Getting them the vital equipment and training that they need to stay on a few steps ahead of the bad guys.
Serving the Van Nuys area for more than 30 years, it's more than just a booster organization. Mid-Valley is quite literally a lifeline.
The equipment that we have, sometimes it's so antiquated that, you know, for years, we didn't know what a laptop was. If you had a desktop computer, you're way ahead of the game. Well, Mid-Valley went out and bought laptops. They bought PowerPoint projectors. One of the things that I think I was most proud of was we were able to provide shotgun lights for every shotgun within the station.
Once we got the Mid-Valley lights, officers could then deploy the shotgun and wouldn't have to use the Harry's method of having the flashlight extended like this underneath the shotgun, which made it kind of difficult for the officers to deploy the shotgun.
For a city that's continuously cash-strapped, the LAPD fights for every tax dollar it can get. But even with that money, the department often falls short. Items that would seem critical to the job are luxuries in Van Nuys.
The night that we got it installed, we had a meeting in here, and the SLOs used it for presentation.
You know, Captain Even was even talking about like paper and supplies and stuff, which you guys don't. You have to get on your own, right?
Sometimes that's true. Yeah, color printers. They bought the captain the color printer in his office.
Digital cameras for crime scenes, gang violence conferences, a roll call room. Just a few of the things Mid-Valley has provided over the years.
See how those are angled so that they can read the license plates as you're going down the street?
As you're driving, it works, right?
Absolutely.
It was $20,000. We found the technology, we bought it, and now that car drives around Van Nuys and Sherman Oaks reading hundreds, thousands of plates every time the car drives up and down the boulevard or through your parking structure of the malls and whatnot.
A short walk through the halls of Van Nuys, and it's quite clear Mid-Valley's fingerprints are everywhere.
Let me tell you this, Josh. Before I got to Van Nuys, and you talked about history at the beginning of this interview, I knew about Mid-Valley before. And I never worked here at Van Nuys before, and I knew about Mid-Valley. So the reputation is across the city about what Mid-Valley does. There's 21 stations, they all have boosters, but very few that are as successful and have as direct giving to the station as Mid-Valley is.
A community, a partnership, a team, whatever you call it. In Van Nuys, it works. For Mid-Valley, these things are not handouts or donations. They're deposits for a better tomorrow in our corner of this city of angels.
Hi, I'm Captain Maureen Ryan, Commanding Officer, Valley Traffic Division, and welcome to November's Captain's Corner. This month we're going to be discussing bicycle safety. So far this year, 7 cyclists have lost their lives in traffic collisions here in the San Fernando Valley. We at Valley Traffic Division would like to reach out to our community, both the motoring and the cycling public, and provide some safety tips. In California, a bicycle is considered a vehicle just like a car or a motorcycle, and you must obey all the rules of the road. 3 of the rules that we want you to be aware of are: ride your bicycle the same direction as traffic. When entering the highway from a driveway or off the curb at a crosswalk, please enter safely. And you must obey all traffic signals, like red lights and stop signs. Before you venture out on your bicycle, remember to have your safety equipment. First and foremost is your safety helmet. Make sure it's approved and fitted properly. If you plan on riding your bicycle during the hours of darkness, including dawn and dusk, you must have a white light to the front and a red light or reflector to the rear. Also, wear bright colored and reflective clothing. Ensure your brakes are inspected and your tires are inflated to the proper tire pressure. Drivers need to share the road and be courteous. 3 things we want you to pay attention to are: when you're preparing to make a right turn into a driveway or at an intersection, make note whether a bicyclist is approaching behind you or to your right or coming off of the sidewalk. Give sufficient clearance when passing a bicycle, or if able to do so, safely change lanes also known as the 3-foot rule. Be aware of the door zone. If you're getting out of your parked vehicle, pay attention when you're opening your car door into traffic that there might be an approaching cyclist. Thank you for watching November's Captain's Corner. We've only provided you with a few of the rules that govern bicycle safety. If you need more information, you can contact Valley Traffic Division. Remember, have fun, be safe, and everyone, please share the road. See you next month.
North Hollywood, California, a community situated at the geographical center of Los Angeles, in the heart of Southern California. What were once orange groves and open fields is now an urban center filled with culture and thriving life. And in the light of day or the darkest of night, it is the job of our Los Angeles Police Department to keep our streets safe.
You know, this is basically a customer service job. We're here to help the community and do what we can with our part in the community.
All types of issues, quality of life to very critical incidents, and they get the gamut. So it's a very interesting, diverse place to police, frankly, and to be a detective.
Ask any LAPD officer, they'll tell you no two watches are alike. Whether it's a quiet afternoon or feverishly paced night.
15844, 15844, domestic violence, 11920 Chandler Boulevard, code 2, incident 4461, RD 1545.
The men and women of the LAPD perform their jobs with zeal and diligence.
Generally, it might be busy radio call-wise with more business disputes because most of the businesses are open at this time of night. Traffic collisions because there's a lot of vehicle and pedestrian traffic. It actually will increase more violent crimes as the night is later.
An officer on the beat knows that in a jam, a dozen fellow cops are just a radio call away. But there's a more important partnership brewing in the City of Angels, and it may be one of the biggest reasons LA is becoming one of the safest big cities in America. It's called community policing, and in North Hollywood, it thrives.
It's a mindset. It's an attitude that, as a police officer or as a commanding officer in the role that I'm in, we work together with the community. We work as partners.
But sometimes when that community member comes forward and gives us additional stuff that they've seen going on instead of a very general, it helps officers be able to focus more and look for a person. We couldn't do that without members of the community.
The North Hollywood area's population exploded shortly after World War II. GIs returning from Europe and the Pacific settled in the San Fernando Valley, affectionately known as America's suburb. Today, the North Hollywood division of the LAPD is one of our city's most unique areas. From Studio City to Sun Valley, officers patrol the wealthiest communities.
Domestic dispute, we have a neighbor dispute,
and the most poverty-stricken streets. A host of cultures and ethnicities combine to create a diverse region.
The South End Division is more affluent. We have more community involvement there as well. You work through the NoHo Arts District, a very busy area, a lot of nightlife. But as you work your way north towards our border with Foothill Division, the North End is less community involvement, a little more violent crime. And that's where we want to place more of our efforts now to get community involvement, community engagement. But the exciting thing for a police officer that works here is just that variety that they experience here.
On patrol in NoHo, radio calls can be routine.
And then those citizens left because the securities were here.
So our witnesses are
So yeah, the witnesses are gone and they didn't leave any name, anything.
Or historic. No officer in North Hollywood will ever forget that fateful day in February of 1997. It changed the division and the department forever.
Bring all the injured officers to Sherman Way and Laurel Canyon. Take all injured officers to Sherman Way and Laurel Canyon. They have a CP set up for all the injured officers, Sherman Way and Laurel Canyon.
Be advised, the suspect is prone out. He may be shooting underneath the vehicle towards officers.
This suspect is prone out and possibly shooting at the officers from under the vehicle on Archwood between Radford and Hines.
It's a part of the history. I mean, I know all police officers are very courageous, and those that work here, I've seen their courage every day. But it just adds a sense of pride, I think, knowing that they come from a place where this happened. And when you think back on how heroically and well the officers did that day.
While those pivotal moments will never be forgotten, they don't define North Hollywood. The people, the families, the community. This is the essence of North Hollywood.
And that's another great thing about working here for officers and detectives. First, that we have such good community support, and it's so refreshing and it's so powerful in terms of the ability for us to be effective in our job.
We had some issues in our neighborhood with parties and found the best way to handle them is through the police. And we didn't have any conduit to the police, didn't know how to contact them. We found out that there was an organization called CPAB that would give us an opportunity to have a communication to the police, to alert them of community issues.
CPAB, the Community Police Advisory Board, and PALS, the East Valley Police Auxiliary League supporters, two community organizations that form the backbone of the LAPD's partnership with the citizens of Los Angeles.
You know, there's only about 10,000 LAPD officers, and there's probably 10 million citizens, and there's no way they can know what's going on, and they need the community to be the eyes and ears out there to help let them and alert them of issues and problems that need attention to be resolved. And CPAB is a wonderful organization to help facilitate and achieve that goal.
On the third Thursday of every month, a group of concerned residents gather with the LAPD leadership from the North Hollywood Division. A monthly summit, so to speak. It's an opportunity for citizens to engage the police department in open dialogue about crime and safety issues.
You know, our CPAB is very established here. It's very productive. It's very helpful. It's helping us reduce crime. That's an example of community partnership and community policing.
CPAB not only serves as a communication conduit, but it's also a proactive group that has a goal of improving life in North Hollywood. Public action, neighborhood watch, emergency preparedness, and community outreach. Just a few of the many goals for this organization.
I think it has gotten stronger, yeah, over the years. I think
it's going to get stronger in years to come.
Oh yeah, definitely. If we keep going at the same speed that we're going now, yes, you know, it's a constant changing and growing organization.
And where CPAB ends, PALS begins. The East Valley PALS is the all-important booster organization for North Hollywood. The group literally provides a lifeline to our cash-strapped city.
Being involved in PALS is a way to give back to my community, and I get a lot of rewards from that.
License plate readers, youth programs, training units, cadets. PALS provides what the city cannot afford.
We're always struggling for better equipment, more equipment, and also our youth programs are not funded by the city. So we have to find ways to fund them, and PALS is the main vehicle to do that. And they're so powerful, those youth programs, because that's preventing so many problems down the line. That's changing lives every day. And they're very, very big. I mean, we have almost at least 50 cadets as far at the latest count. And that's a lot of kids that are actively involved in very productive activities that are going to move on to college, going to move on to good careers.
There's no question the support this organization provides will impact the city for years to come.
That's huge. You know, it's very powerful. You know, that kind of cooperation, teamwork, willingness to get involved, that's what it takes to reduce crime, to solve big high-profile crimes, to harden the target so you have prevention, and that's community policing. Those are different examples of it in motion, but it's going on here every day.
It's a well-known fact a police officer will patrol the city with their window rolled down. You need to listen to the streets. You need to hear the city. While that may be a good practical policing tactic, it's metaphorically much more here in North Hollywood. The LAPD has created a culture of listening to its citizens, and it rings loud and clear. Community policing is alive and well in the San Fernando Valley.
Hi, I'm Captain Maureen Ryan, Commanding Officer of Valley Traffic Division, and welcome to October's Captain's Corner. This month we're going to be focusing on pedestrian safety. This year we've had an increase in pedestrian-involved traffic collisions across all areas in Operations Valley Bureau. This gravely concerns us, and we want to provide you, our community, with some safety tips. Obey traffic signals such as walk and don't walk signs. Watch for turning vehicles and make sure the driver sees you before stepping out in front of the vehicle. Cross streets at marked crosswalks or intersections if available. Constantly look 4 ways as you cross the street. For our drivers, please scan the road ahead for pedestrians. Do not drive distracted. Yield to pedestrians in crosswalks, whether it's a marked crosswalk or an unmarked crosswalk. Well, here we are in October, and right around the corner is one of my favorite holidays, Halloween. About our kids, we want to give you some Halloween safety tips. Thank you for watching October's Captain's Corner. Stay safe, keep your kids safe, and we'll see you next month.